Oh my God, look at the time, my flight's leaving in 20 minutes. Jesus, oh God. This is Suitcase entrepreneur packing. Hi, I'm Natalie Sisson, the Suitcase entrepreneur, and today's question is a great one that I've been wanting to answer for a while. It is from Rodney. And Rodney says, I'm about to begin a new consulting opportunity that will take me all over the world. About 80% of the time I'll be outside of the US and working in multiple countries for 2 or 3 week sprints. I was wondering if you can provide me with some advice on living out of a suitcase. Also, do you have a favorite luggage brand that seems to last for you? My current bags aren't going to cut it. And yes, Rodney, hopefully we will run into each other somewhere on the planet sometime soon. So, great question. My suitcase of choice is Rimowa. It is a German brand. German brands are always quality. What I particularly like about this was, one, they sponsored me with the Salsa Air, and it is an excellent suitcase that I would definitely buy, even had they not given it to me kindly. The reason for that is it's super lightweight, really, really lightweight, and it's flexible. Now, this comes in really handy. So it has a solid outer core, but it is flexible. So if something sits on it or goes in it, it's never ever gonna break. Just which is wonderful. The other reason why you should always go with a brand that is super lightweight is it actually saves you a lot of money in excess baggage charges. So before I used to have, cheap ass luggage, and I would always end up paying for it at the counter because sometimes it can weigh 5 to 8 kilos just by itself before you put anything in it. This is ridiculously lightweight before I put anything else in it. The other thing that I love about it is that it goes this way, this way, this way, this way. So most luggage you're always pulling it like this, and this can be, when it's heavy, quite a lot of strain. Whereas this one, I can just stand up and push it. Just like that. The other thing is that this suitcase has a lock on it, and it's a combination lock or a key lock. So for those of you who are into protection, very handy. You don't have to have your own padlock and remember it. Also, when you're at airports, you can always get your suitcase shrink wrapped. I'm not entirely sure why people do that, to be honest. Just don't put valuable stuff in your suitcase. That's how you get through it. Another great brand would be Sisson, or any of the travel luggages that are made for long-term travel and have a higher price tag because it means they're a better quality suitcase in general. Okay, so let's take a look inside the life of a suitcase entrepreneur. There it is. So this suitcase is a little bit more unique in that there are 2 different sides, which is quite handy to answer your question, Rodney, because you could put, for example, business attire on this side and more leisurely attire on this side. Or if you were going to a summer climate and then the week after going to a winter climate, you can swap it out. This is mesh, it's super lightweight, it actually stretches and it's flexible. So what I really like about it is it actually holds a lot more than you think. So how I tend to pack, and this isn't, the perfect example, I just wanted to throw things in here initially, is my top tip is to go for layers. Layers are light, and it means if you're in a cold place, you can just continue to layer, but you don't have to take big, bulky jackets with you. The other thing I would suggest, ladies, you do not need 15 pairs of shoes. 1 pair of dress shoes will do you. The other pair of shoes I always advise is flip-flops, no matter where you're going, and some sort of running shoes so that you can do your sports. And outside of that, you want a comfy pair of shoes. Obviously, this is completely dependent on where you're traveling, but in general, less is more. And you can always buy what you need when you get to the location, so don't ever forget that. You don't need to take the kitchen sink. Another trick that I really like is rolling stuff. So fabrics that don't crease are really, really useful, obviously. Ironically, this example is creasable, but what I would suggest you do is roll things up. You can actually get a lot more space from doing that. And you can just bundle them into your suitcase in the corner. Ironically, this does actually take up less space than, for example, folding it. And you can just tuck it in and have layers and layers and layers and lots of rolls. So that's essentially how I take up less space with my stuff. So another thing to consider is toiletries, which can get a little bit out of hand, especially for the ladies. So I suggest that you actually get the little travel size plastic bottles. Only take what you need, especially if you're on a shorter trip. Fill up your shampoos and your conditioners and your moisturizers into these little travel sizes. Or if you're in a rush and you're at the airport, they luckily have travel size cosmetics and beauty products for you. And travel size perfumes. Other things you can do is things that are great, like Kathmandu will actually do these soap slips, which I took to Africa. So you just add a little bit of water and they turn into soap. Very good for traveling with. Same with shampoo. And the other way that I separate things out is, this is actually a dry bag, which you never know will come in handy if your luggage drops in the sea for some reason, but I separate out toiletries and cosmetics into here just in case they do leak during a flight. And also I have a separate one for my electronics. So whoever asked that great question, this is what I will do. I'll keep all the electronics, cords, plugs, etc. in one of these bags, and I'll usually take that on my hand luggage because I wouldn't want it to get lost on a flight. Or don't ever put 2 battery chargers in one bag, always have one spare one with you. I think that about covers it for today. Happy packing! Let's take a look inside. Okay, so this one's a little more unique in terms of, that wasn't supposed to happen.